Wednesday is that kind of look back, look forward. What do we really do? Well, one thing we do on Wednesdays is give Chris Sims a chance to make me the mayor of Crazyville for my assessment of the 32 teams, ranked one after the other. I do it every Tuesday morning, try to get it posted right around the noon hour so you can sit there and curse and swear while you're eating your lunch, while you see where your team is. Your team's never as high as you think it should be, Chris. So today, let's unveil, although they were unveiled at PFT, but they haven't been officially unveiled here on PFT Live, the top 10 for Week 2 in the National Football League. And to no surprise, the New England Patriots, after that 33-3 victory over the Steelers, still the top team in the NFL, followed by the Chiefs, who won 40-26 in Jacksonville. Eagles holding firm at number 3 after getting a scare from Washington. Cowboys at 4. They smashed the Giants 35-17. Rams move up to 5. They had been number 7. Seahawks are at number 6, holding firm. They got leapfrogged by the Rams, which makes sense. Rams had a more impressive day, I think, than Seattle. Saints up to number 7 from 8. Vikings up to 8 from 11. Packers up 7 spots from 16 to 9. Who says I don't like Aaron Rodgers? And the Chargers hold firm at number 10. What do you think? Shut up. What do you think? What do you think of those?
Well, okay, let's start at the top 5. I'm just curious because I just think it's a close one. First off, did you think about putting the Eagles and Cowboys and switching that around, making the Cowboys 3, Eagles 4 with just the way the games looked on Sunday?
I gave it a little bit of thought, but I figured, I still think the Eagles are a better team. Hey, the Cowboys smashed the Giants. That's fine. But you could argue it's even more impressive to show the fortitude necessary to dig out of a 17-0 hole and come back and outscore them 32-3 until that late back-end cover touchdown that Washington scored. So I left it 3 and 4. I really didn't even consider it all that much at all because I do think the Eagles are a half click above the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think generally I do. It's a really close one. But, man, did that Cowboys, Mike, I watched that offense on film yesterday. And, Kellen Moore, he's earning his paycheck, Mike. It was a different look from that offense altogether. So I'm happy about that. That was a close one to me. I would have looked at that and gone, ooh, just because it's so close between the two teams and the way the Cowboys looked, I might have given the edge. What about the Rams at 5? Did you flirt at all with putting them in front of the Eagles or the Cowboys after their impressive road win in Carolina?
No, I didn't want to jump them up too far.
Yeah.
I think that, Jared Goff didn't have a big day, and I think the Panthers had a few mistakes that contributed to that. I think this is one of those games where the Rams, we saw how Sean McVay jumped off the podium and said, man, it feels good to win that one. Yeah, they could have lost that one. It always feels good to win a game where as it's unfolding, you have a very strong sense that it's not going to go your way. And at the end of the day, it's like somehow we won this thing. So I didn't think it got them 2 spots higher than they were,
right?
But it's not going to get them any higher than that for now.
Yep. Okay. And then, all right, next one down. Seahawks, not impressive at home against Cincinnati. Really, we're very fortunate to get out with the win. Another game I watched on film yesterday. Bengals should have won the game. I'm shocked that you put the Seahawks or kept them in front of the Saints. I thought maybe you'd have the Saints in front of the Seahawks as far as just talking about your top 10 here.
And, I always look for the next matchup, and if I can get 2 teams right next to each other, I'll push it that way. And maybe in hindsight, I should have pushed the Saints all the way to number 6 because then it would be 5 versus 6 this weekend in the rematch of the NFC Championship. So, you know what? If I had a mulligan, I would probably flip the Saints and the Seahawks.
Okay.
See, I can take constructive criticism.
I'm amazed.
As long as I agree.
Let's end the segment. Show's over. See you guys tomorrow. Listen to this. Okay, so now I just want to dance down a little farther, okay? And I see you
Don't push your luck.
You got the Vikings at 8 and the Packers at 9. But stats are girls and guys in the back. Can we put up his 10 through 20 part of his power rankings? Because you got the Vikings and Packers at 8 and 9. I'm shocked you got them in front of the Ravens as the way the Ravens looked. And I understand it was the Dolphins. But, the Vikings-Packers games, they played well. But I'm not going to sit here and just go, I was absolutely blown away with their performances like I was with the Ravens.
I think the Packers holding the defending NFC North champions to 3 points on opening night of the season in their own building is more impressive than what the Ravens did because, as we know, the Dolphins weren't trying to stop the Ravens. I mean, tank, no tank, whatever. They didn't adjust their defense. They continued to dare. It's like going up to a bully and saying, I dare you to punch me in the face. And he does. and you come right back and say, I dare you to punch me in the face. And he does.
Yes.
They kept doing that to the Ravens offense. So who did the Ravens beat? So they're going to have to beat a team that is better than the Dolphins, who would be lower than 32 if that was possible.
Right.
They're going to have to do something more impressive than that before they crack the top 10.
Well, they play the Cardinals this week, so it doesn't look like they're going to be rising that far if they win that game, which I expect them to do. But okay, I got no issue with that. That was a good explanation overall. I like that. And then when I look at your 11 through 20, Titans at 12, okay. You got a bunch of teams that lost, the Bears, the Steelers, the Colts, the Browns, the Jaguars, the Bills at 1-0 at 18. I guess I'm surprised. I thought maybe you dropped down the Browns a little bit more. I thought with the way they look, the fact that they got blown out at home, when I looked at your power rankings this morning, I thought, ooh, I wonder where I'll have Cleveland. It was the first one I watched, and I thought you were going to have them maybe somewhere 19, 20, 21, something like that. So 16 says you still are giving hope to that football team, and there's a few things that scare you or you like about them in general.
Well, I expected them to lose to the Titans, and I think the game got out of hand in the fourth quarter because, as Peter King said yesterday, Baker Mayfield gets compared to Brett Favre all the time, and Brett Favre, in those moments where the game is slipping away, will take chances that he shouldn't take or wouldn't otherwise take. That's what Mayfield did, and that's what opened the floodgates. It was not a 30-point victory.
No, it was not.
If you pay close attention to the game.
Right.
It just got out of hand late, and with 7 points, before you know it, it does become a blowout. So I think that the Browns, they still dropped 4 spots. They get a chance to justify middle-of-the-pack status and begin their climb. They get with Jets and Rams and 49ers and Seahawks, and, it's going to be a tough road for them. They're going to have to earn their way back up toward the top 10.
Okay, and then how do you view 18? You got the Bills at 1-0 behind a bunch of teams that are 0-1, and I understand that. I'm just curious in this in general because we haven't talked about this game a lot so far this week. How did you view the Bills win and the Mike Florio brain there? What was your thoughts or synopsis on that victory?
If the Jets had a kicker, they would have won the game. That's how I view it.
Yeah. Okay,
so
right.
it's hard to move the Bills all that far up from 20 when they beat a team that put its faith in a guy who had proven why he didn't belong in the NFL. I mean, what a scam the Ravens pulled by getting a 5th-round pick for Kari Vedvik, and I applaud the Vikings for not blindly sticking with Vedvik simply because they gave up the 5th-round pick. Hey, Chris, think about this one. If Vedvik was the Vikings kicker on Sunday against the Falcons,
right,
and he missed the first couple of extra points, and it's 12-0 instead of 14-0, I mean, that's just it's a psychological difference. Right?
Sure.
And maybe if it's 8-10, let's say he missed all 4 extra points and it was 24-0. When the Falcons score that first touchdown and they stupidly went for 2, they would have had reason to go for 2.
Right.
Make it 24-8, and then all of a sudden you got to worry a little bit. So having a kicker who can get it done is worth something, as the Saints found out. And I think if the Jets hadn't claimed Kari Vedvik on waivers and gave him the job, and of course he lost the job on Tuesday, as he should have, they would have won that game. So it's hard to really applaud the Bills. A lot of turnovers, 4 turnovers. They escaped. They shouldn't have, and they're not going to get so lucky when they play better teams.
No, but I still think it's a big thing for them that they overcame the deficit they did for a team that's still kind of young, learning, a quarterback who was way too gunslinger in the first half. And I like Josh Allen, but he kind of fixed it all up and dialed it back in the second half and made some unbelievable plays. The Bills are still a very intriguing football team to me there because you see that defense is the real deal. The Jets had a hard time moving the ball, and if their offense can play complementary football and Josh Allen play a little smarter, I do think the Bills are one of those teams that's going to be a pain in the butt for everybody in the AFC this year.
Let's look at the last 5. I've got the Dolphins at 32. There's a shock. Giants at 31 after getting beat by 18 by the Cowboys. They dropped a spot. Washington from 27 down to 30. Between blowing the lead and also the mishandling of Adrian Peterson, dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things, and the Redskins are back down in that bottom layer of dysfunction in the NFL. Buccaneers at 29. They blew that game at home against the 49ers by 14. And then the Cardinals, they bumped up from 31 to 28 by pulling out the tie. If they'd have won that game, who knows how high they'd be. but there's reason for hope in Arizona. The way that isn't it amazing? The way that they were able to hold it together. It speaks to their conditioning. Kyler Murray said that the Lions got tired late in the game, while the Cardinals didn't. So regardless of whatever we think about the offense, whether or not Cliff Kingsbury has any business being an NFL head coach, in the fourth quarter, they proved that they belong, and it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they can make similar runs late in games if they really are in a higher level of shape than their opponents.
Well, yeah, I think that's their greatest advantage they have right now. That's the one thing I took away from the game, because I think the Cardinals are the 31st best team in football still. I mean, I don't know if I would have ranked them there. You're right. You got the right ranking, but I still look at them as certainly one of those bottom 1 or 2, 3 teams. That their great advantage is the point you just made, Mike. It really is. They wore out the Lions. And we know teams get worn out in the fourth quarter as is anyways. Defensive lines can get worn out from a team that passes the ball too much. But when you're passing the ball every play, there's some moments of up-tempo, and then you're chasing around a Kyler Murray. I mean, this truly could be a little bit of the formula that Cliff Kingsbury is counting on to be implemented on a weekly basis. Hey, we're going to just wear you down with, we're in the shotgun, it's this short pass, it's that short pass. Kyler Murray running around, you got to chase him on quarterback design movement plays, let alone the ones he scrambles. And if you don't have a deep defensive line and a deep defense in general, you could be in trouble playing the Arizona Cardinals. I looked at that as their number one advantage coming out of Sunday.
I love watching Cardinals highlights. I love watching Cardinals games. And I know that Kyler Murray isn't significantly shorter than Russell Wilson or Drew Brees, but on a football field, he looks so tiny, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
I don't know whether it's because he's got short arms or what it is.
He's a little more narrow, right? I think he's a little more narrow-shouldered than like Russell Wilson, too, that way.
It both fascinates me and horrifies me because, you know, I mean, I'm at the age now where some of these rookies are younger than my son, and it's you be worried about. Like, I worry about Kyler Murray, but I also love watching what he can do, and we'll see what he can do this weekend against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.